morning. Looks like we are about to replace the battery in the Corvette. This makes me happy because then that means we'll actually get the tires replaced soon. Found out that we're gonna have some major solar winds or be subject to a solar storm later this week on Wednesday, I think is when the thing said. It's supposed to throw birds all in black and affect electronics and all that thing. And at first when I saw it, I was kind of, man, you see these things all the time, you don't really believe them. But just a minute ago when we were outside, my grandfather saw a bird that he says he had never seen in this part of the country before, or in this part of the world, or however you want to look at it. Almost like a stork, I think he called it an egret. And so when he mentioned that, whenever we saw it, kind of made me think back to that solar storm thing, and maybe there's some truth to it. There's also this cat that's sitting here watching me. That cat is so weird. Let's see what else we got on the agenda for today. Car's alive. See? Lights on. That's in there. Alright. Now. Is it ready to start? Let's push the hood down. Fixing it by replacing the battery. Test one. The lights come on. The lights come on. Significant improvement. Here we go. Moment of truth. All right. Listen to that bird. We just had probably what was one of the craziest interviews we've ever done with Falco and Tyler from Elysian Shadows. And we got a lot of good information out there, and even some exclusive news updates about the story of the game. I'm excited for that. I'm getting ready to start writing an article up on it. I brought in Matt and Harrison to kind of see the interview process and to see the final product, and so they can know interview developers in the future. I guess inspiration or guides or however you want to look at it. And they were just blown away by the way the interview was. And I just want to say, I love the way Falco describes things, because he'll be talking about something so serious, and he'll just, the words he uses, it's like serious, not serious, serious, not serious. Like we were talking about the story, and he was like, yeah, there's all of these crazy mythical ruins and shit. It's like, okay. Mythical ruins and shit. Good interview, and I'm really looking forward to start writing this article. Hey everybody, this is the end of Friday. I had to think about that because I had a brain fart for a moment there. Today was a good day. We got the Corvette cranked up again finally after 2 months of it being dead. All because it got a flat tire, and the tires were just so expensive we couldn't afford to get them put on, and then it just sat and forgot to crank it. You know, it's nobody's really fault it happened, it just sort of happened. But we got it fixed. Now we are going next week to get the tires put on it. Excited for that because that means I'll get to drive it again. But that was the most complex battery I've ever had to deal with on a car. Mostly because I haven't had to change the battery in my car yet. But in that car, in previous cars when I've changed batteries, you disconnect the cables, and then if there's anything else attached to it, pull the battery out. But not this one. This one had the cables, instead of attaching on top, they attached on the side, and you had to use a special wrench to be able to get them off, because it has a fuse panel box right up on the connectors for things, so you couldn't get your hand in there to do it. It was really complex, and it has a lip at the bottom of it that you had to screw on there so it secured the battery. I don't know why it was there, because the thing was already pretty secure, but if you didn't do that, you had this loose piece of plastic that was dingle around. Really crazy. And we forgot to screw the little plastic piece back on until after we put the battery and everything together, and by that point we didn't feel like disconnecting the whole battery again and doing it. So we ghetto rigged a wrench with a socket wrench and a couple other parts to fit down, and it was a really tiny space. It was this big that we had to fit this thing down into it to screw the thing on. It was nuts. It was just crazy. I know I mentioned my car has a more complex battery. That's because for some reason Chrysler on my car for the Sebring, I don't know if it was just the thing they did that year for that model or what, but the battery is under the driver's side tire panel, like, wheel well. So in order to replace the battery, you have to like get under the car. It's insane. So hopefully I don't have to replace that one anytime soon because the Corvette battery was complex enough for me. Had fun talking with Falco and Tyler from Elysian Shadows. I'll put the link to their project below. It's a game that is coming out for the Sega Dreamcast, Ouya, PC, Mac, Linux, and after they meet their obligations for being an Ouya exclusive because they did Ouya's free to games thing, it'll be coming like PS4, Xbox One, 360, PS3, all of that stuff. Pretty good looking game, and Falco is hilarious to talk to. I did a podcast with him a little while ago, and I'll put a link to that too down below. But it's great talking to those guys and seeing what they're doing. Behind me, I've got 2-Dash's review of Destiny. Destiny being the like major game that just launched a couple days ago. If you don't know, it was like the most pre-ordered game ever in history. It also had like one of the largest budgets in history in development, and it had tons of hype, like so much hype, it was crazy. But I'm not sure if you can read the headline or not, but the headline for our review is Destiny review, not legendary, but still fun. But definitely fun, sorry. Not legendary, but definitely fun, which is interesting because like the whole concept of the game is to become legend. That's kind of like their marketing scheme to it. And I always thought this guy right here looked like Master Chief from Halo, and that is partly because this is being developed by Bungie, who developed Halo. Maybe that was intentional, maybe not. That's just what I think. But the game has so much hype, and it's fun, but the single player is like completely lacking. Well, there really isn't much of one. The story is very bland. The locations are generic, but the gameplay is supposed to be a lot of fun, as long as you like shooting things or first-person shooter type games. I'll include the link to this review below so you guys can check it out and see what all the hype was to one of this year's most anticipated game, or even one of the most anticipated games of this generation. And I know it's very hard to say right now, especially considering like Titanfall was super anticipated, Watch Dogs was super anticipated, and this console generation is still really young, but this one had more hype than those, at least towards the end. I know Watch Dogs had like a longer hype cycle, but towards the end this one had more. Anyways, beside the point, but that's all I got for you guys today, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.